Hi, Janelle and Gregory Watson here, helping you with your vibrational energy mastery.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what you see, hit like and feel free to subscribe to our channel. It's your energy, your way.
Master your energy today. Hi, Janelle Watson here. I'm going to have a chat to you about pendulums. We're going to have a talk about how to select a pendulum. Now, a lot of people like using a pendulum for connecting to the other side, to the spirit realm, to their spirit guides, to the angelic realm, and this has been done for thousands of years. Lots of people actually use pendulums for things. You will find that if you look back in history too, that a lot of midwives used to use pendulums. In fact, when they used to try and tell the gender of the baby, male, female, they would use the wedding ring of the mother and swing it on a chain over the belly of the pregnant lady, and they would be able to tell if, the baby was going to be a male or a female. Pendulums have been used for a long, long time. When you go in to choose a pendulum from usually a spiritual shop or a spirit gift shop, or you can buy them online, but usually you choose the pendulum because the reality is that pendulum chooses you. So a pendulum generally is just a swinging crystal, and that's what it comes down to most of the time. It's whatever can pick up the energy, because vibrational energy is what is making your connection. We are all made up of atoms. We all vibrate at different rates. The connection we make to different realms, to different levels of frequency, are all about the connection that you are actually making with your vibrations. So let me show you a couple of the pendulums I've got. When I walked in to pick out my very first pendulum, I walked into a store and I walked over to where the pendulums were hanging, and a few of them started to actually swing. And I thought, wow, this is really exciting. So I walked over and I found a pendulum and I picked one up. I was like, well, it's swinging a little bit. And then I found another one and it was swinging a little bit. And eventually I pinned it down to one particular pendulum. Quite often pendulums are to a point. It makes it easier for the energy to actually connect and be focused. So I bought that pendulum home and I was, working with that. One of the things you do have to be very, very careful with, and I will warn you of this, is that you need to ensure you know who you are connecting with your pendulum. You need to ensure that you are connecting with energies from the light. If you're not, you'll know. You will know. But using a pendulum is like doing any other work with spirit world or with the other realms. It is a means of actually being able to connect. So you need to make sure your shields are up, your protection is up, you're surrounded in bright white light, and usually burning a white candle. So let me show you my current pendulum. My first pendulum I dropped, and the tip of the crystal point actually fell off, broke off. So I was using it for a while, but I ended up getting a new pendulum, and I sent that crystal back to the earth with love and light. And I now have a new pendulum, and this is my pendulum. This is my current pendulum. Okay, so when you actually have a pendulum, it generally is attached to a chain. It doesn't have to be. I'll show you a couple of other pendulums as well. This is a pendulum that my husband actually selected, and I've asked permission from the pendulum and from him to actually show you this. Now notice that this is actually in a point, as I mentioned before, and with this particular pendulum it is glass and it is filled with tiger's eye chips. And my husband loves tiger's eye, it's his favourite crystal, so it actually works with that as well. I also use, this is a necklace that I have, which is a quartz necklace. It's a Merkaba quartz necklace, and it has an amethyst on top, and I can actually use this as a pendulum as well. A lot of the time you can actually buy little silver cages that look just like this, and you can pop a crystal or your favourite crystal in there and add it to a chain or a leather thong or whatever, piece of string, whatever you'd like to use, and you can use that as a pendulum as well. Interestingly, I can also use my crystal necklaces. Now this is actually a jade crystal chip necklace, and I can use this as a pendulum. And I can use this as a pendulum, which is an amethyst necklace. So as you can see, you don't have to actually use anything in particular. It doesn't have to be an exact look or feel or what. It's whatever works for you. So pendulums are individually connected, and you'll find that a pendulum will connect to you. So when you walk into a store, if you've got some different pendulums hanging, as they usually are, then what you can do is try and see if you can get a little bit of space around the pendulum area yourself. Get yourself focused on the pendulums and find that, see if you can get a little bit of space around you at some point in time. Perhaps watch the ebb and flow of the people coming in and out of the store, and you may find there's a time when it's just a little bit quiet, when the pendulums are not being affected by other people's energies. If they are, then step away and then step back again when it's quiet. When you walk up to the pendulums, watch for the ones that are moving, and then place your hand closer to the pendulum that might actually be swinging. You can try a few, take them off and check them, and when you actually pick up a pendulum, you will find that it will connect with you if it's the right one, if it's chosen you. Now, there's not always an entity or an energy or a being connected to a pendulum. Sometimes there is. Most of the time there's not. It's a pendulum for you to use. If there's an energy or an entity connected to a pendulum, then that's fine. You can also connect with other beings from the light as well. So how does a pendulum swing? I'll actually use Greg's one just to show you. So if you had this pendulum and you had just picked it up off the shelf. Now this is not my particular pendulum, but if it's going to swing, then it will swing for me. So you can see I have made a connection with this pendulum. And if this was a pendulum that I was actually picking up from a store, then this would probably be the one that I would have selected. Okay, so thank you. And stop swinging now, please. Okay, so you can actually see that this pendulum has connected with me. So when you actually pick up a pendulum, you will feel the connection. And one of the first things you do, of course, is to connect with the pendulum, ask its permission to use it, and say, please, may I use you as a pendulum? And you will then ask to define the yes and no swings. So we'll have a little more of a talk in the different videos about the different swings. But as you can see, when you pick up a pendulum and you connect to it, it will actually start to swing for you. Now, this is my pendulum, my regular pendulum. So can I get somebody to connect to this, please? Thank you. Okay, this actually has one of my guides connected. Can you please do a swing, a big yes swing? So you can see that we actually have a yes swing going on. And it gets more and more powerful. So you can see that this actually, I'm not doing anything. This pendulum is swinging with the energy. So when you actually connect with a pendulum, that's what you will get. You will get a swing. Sometimes not as large as this, not in the beginning, and lots of different swings. But once you have actually had a pendulum select you, and remembering that crystals and pendulums do select you, then what you can do is you'll need to take it home, cleanse it, and look after your pendulum, connect to it, and ensure that it is always surrounded in bright white light. Clean it on a regular basis, and it becomes your connection, a form of connection for you to connect to other realms, to higher vibrational frequencies. Just to quickly show you, as I said, I can use this one as well. So you can see that it's starting to swing. Can we do a no, please? So you can see that we're actually getting the energies connecting. Thank you. Always thank your pendulum. Always thank the light, white, bright energy that has connected to your pendulum for answering. And we'll have a talk about actually using pendulums in the next video. So it's your energy. Use it your way. and master your energy today. See you in the next video.